Hey guys, Jocelyn here from Fantasia Elegance. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you some of the essential starting tools you'll need to get into wire-wrapped jewelry making. This tutorial will focus specifically on making jewelry out of wire rather than other techniques such as beading, so do take note of that. So to start out, of course, I have got them spread out here already. This is your kind of essential starting set of tools. You're going to want 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. And chain nose pliers, of course, have a flat surface. You can really buy any brand or type of these tools you wish, but I know folks are going to ask what I use, so I will tell you, and I also have, again, links in the description below. I like the Xuron brand. These, I believe, were called their tweezer nose jewelers chain nose pliers. And again, the link will be in the description below. You do want 2 pairs of these chain nose pliers so that you can be, specifically for jump rings, opening them with 2 pairs. You'll also find that you just want 2 pairs for manipulating the wire. Very essential, you want a pair of round nose pliers. Now these are actually Weber's brand. I found the Xuron brand of round nose pliers did not have this nice, perfectly smooth conical surface that you are looking for. It kind of had weird ridges, and of course the point of the round nose pliers is to make very nice circular loops and smooth bends. So I find that these work well. And just a note, when you're selecting your tools, you do want something that is comfortable for you to hold. As you can see, these are large enough with padded handles that it fits very comfortably in your hand. If you don't do this, depending on how much you use your tools, you could develop wrist injury or discomfort. So that is one note when you're selecting your tools. So you'll need at least 1 pair of round nose pliers. I find that I don't really need 2 pairs of these. You can get by with 1. And finally, for your essential tools, you're going to need something to cut the wire with, obviously. So we're going back to the Xuron brand here. As you can see, I have 2 different pairs of cutters. I recommend getting something that is called a flush cutter. This means that when you cut the wire, one end will have a completely perpendicular cut on the face of the wire, and that's a flush cut. There are other types of cutters, but I find this is the best for getting your piece to look finished with nicely flush ends. So I would recommend getting 2 different sizes depending on what thickness of wire you're using. You'll probably want a very small pair to get into little nooks and crannies to cut very fine wires. This is called the Xuron Micro Shear Flush Cutters. And then my larger pair is the Xuron Maxi Shear Flush Cutters. And again, links are in the description section below. If you have to pick just one for budget reasons, go ahead and get the larger pair first. They do, as you can see, have pretty good tips to where you can get away with cutting smaller wires with these just fine. But if you were to try and tackle larger gauge wires, thicker wires with this smaller cutter, you might run into problems. Okay, so some optional tools that you might want to get down the road as you progress in your wire wrap jewelry making. What I have here, first of all, is a pair of nylon jawed round nose pliers. You can also get nylon jawed chain nose pliers. The intended purpose of these is to have a way to handle your wire without leaving nicks or scratches in it. I find that once you kind of get the feel for your wire and your tools, this is really a minimal problem even with the just straight metal tools. But if you find that that is really bothering you, you can purchase these nylon coated tools and see if that really does the trick for you. Again, you can get these pretty much at any craft store. I don't know specifically where I bought this one, but you can just look for nylon jawed pliers. And then here what we have is called a bail making set of pliers. As you can see, it's got 2 different diameters of round tips. This is useful not only for making bails, but also for jump rings and anytime you want to make 2 different sizes of bends. Again, these are both more optional and kind of later down the road options if you decide that you want to invest in getting these tools as well, but I wanted to throw those out there for you. Depending on what you want to make, you will of course be needing ring mandrels. I have 2 different styles here for you. One is a very nice heavy-duty stainless steel ring mandrel. I like this one because it has the markings actually etched into it. There's no paint that can rub off and leave you wondering, oh, what ring size was that on that invisible line? It's also very nice and hefty so that it just makes it easier if you're trying to wrap wires around it. This is a cheaper plastic one, also works very well. One thing to note on here, it has a groove in the back. This can come in handy if you're trying to do a ring with a bead on it. You can kind of rest that bead in the groove and still get your ring shape nice and round. And again, I purchased both of these online on Amazon. I don't have the exact links for these, but you can search for just ring mandrels. Your local craft stores should have these as well. Another optional piece of equipment which you will see me using fairly frequently in my tutorials is a steel jeweler's bench block and hammer. This is very useful if you want to flatten out the wire piece that you're working with to give it more stability, more of a finished look. I would recommend getting both the rubber block base for this and the steel block. This is a 4-inch square block, by the way. Again, these are in local craft stores. I got mine on Amazon. And as far as the hammer to get, I like this chasing hammer with the rounded back. You can often use this to put a really pretty dappled texture into your wires, as well, of course, as the standard flattened side on the other side. A couple other odds and ends. Obviously, you'll want a way to measure out your wires. I have here a very nice stainless steel ruler. I highly recommend you get one with centimeters on one side, inches on the other. This is an interesting one because it actually has tenths of an inch on the top and the traditional halves, quarters, eighths, what have you on the bottom. You may also find yourself in a situation where you want to measure out more than 10 inches of wire at a time. So I would go ahead and pick up, they have these at fabric stores, a flexible measuring tape. This one obviously goes up much higher. I believe it goes up to 60 inches. Yep, there we go. So that will really come in handy for you if you are wanting to measure out longer lengths of wire consistently. You may also want to have, seems funny, but bear with me here, you may want to have some painter's tape or masking tape and little alcohol swabs to remove the residue of that. You will frequently find yourself needing to tape the wire to stabilize it in such a way that you can work with it easily. So that's where this really comes in handy for you. And finally, depending on what type of wire you're using, if you're using silver-filled, sterling wires, silver-plated, really anything that can be tarnished and then cleaned, I would highly recommend that you get a jewelry cleaning cloth. You can buy these really anywhere online. The way it works is it's got this yellow side which has chemicals in it that are very good at removing tarnish from wires, and then it has just a regular cloth side to clean the wire afterward and remove the chemicals from it. So this will work well. So I just use this to clean my wire before starting a piece to make sure that it's all tarnish free. And it also comes in handy if you are trying to remove kinks from your wire, work harden it a little bit and get it nice and straight before you work with it. And I have done a video showing that use of this specific cloth. You can click right here to get to that. So those are just some of the very essential basic tools and materials that you would need to get started in wire wrap jewelry making. I am going to be doing a sequel video here on what types of wire and what sizes, all that good stuff that I would recommend for getting started in the wonderful world of wire wrapping. So you can go ahead and click this link here to get to that video. I do hope you found this tutorial helpful though. And of course, visit my channel. I have many project tutorials on how to actually get started with very easy beginner projects in wire wrapping. Please comment if you had any questions on this, if you have ideas for future jewelry project tutorials, and as always, like and subscribe so you can keep receiving these free instructional videos. Thanks for watching and happy crafting!